In part 2 of this series, I'm visiting some of the other projects that are bringing communities together in various parts of Belfast, starting at Skegneel.
I'm Callie Persick, and I'm a volunteer for Skegneel and Glandore Common Purpose and a local resident.
I'm John Walker. I'm part of Skegneel Community Group and also Skegneel Glandore Common Purpose, and I'm also a local resident.
Common Purpose is a cross-community organisation that started a number of years ago as a result of people meeting to develop summer schemes, women's groups, etc. So then it evolved into an organisation that looks at proactively changing the shape of our interface, engaging with people of all ages and backgrounds.
And what kind of projects are you involved with?
We've numerous different projects going. We've currently run the after-school apps for 2 hours, with an hour of homework study, an hour of arts and crafts and things like that there, you know. Callie on a Saturday she would have the garden, which we're now running for 2 years.
The garden started off quite modestly. We have a lot of derelict space at the interface. We don't have a physical barrier, we just have dereliction. So we started colonising this space. We started with guerrilla gardening a couple of years ago, actually. And then all summer we planted, we met, and we got to know each other. We had a couple good open day festival events on there as well.
We have a paddock ground up there we've been using now for the past 4 to 5 years. We call Common Ground. It was originally just a waste ground, and now we hold our festivals on them. And probably you're here today that we're holding St Patrick's Festival, and we call them inclusion events.
This is the Hounds of Ulster, a band that combines elements of Ulster Scots and traditional Irish music.
There's no flags or pumping or anything out there to say this is one thing or it's another thing. Everybody's welcome, and we always get a good turnout from both sides of the community. And say today you have Bouncy Castle's face painting, you have pottage stew, good Irish stew, you know, a whole other events during the year as well. Some people call it controversial. Whenever we held the royal wedding event at an interface, people were very vocal and saying, "Yous are mad." But I was amazed that the turnout we got, especially from the folks from Glandore, which is predominantly Catholic. They came down, joined in, and the kids loved it.
Those are great events because we also do Halloween, kind of the lantern parade starts there. We have Christmas. We've had music festivals there with Love Music, Hate Racism. And honestly, people do get to know each other, and that's really what that's about for us.
Not all such work is concentrated at interfaces. Over in the East Belfast Mission, on the Newtonards Road, Linda Irvine runs classes where Protestants learn the Irish language. Surprising, perhaps.
Well, when we look at our history, actually there's every reason why Protestants should be learning Irish. This is a Gaelic language. If we're looking for the largest Gaelic speaking region, we don't even find it in Ireland. We find it in Scotland, where 80% of speakers are from the Protestant tradition. You know, we look around us, it's the 95% of our place names are from the Gaelic language, our own surnames are the Gaelic language. We're using words every day in our speech, and we're steeped in it. We discovered that people in the 1901 and 1911 census, even here in East Belfast, list themselves as having Irish. It's lovely because you see Protestant and Catholic sharing homes together. It was a different world.
Irish, especially during the Troubles, was very politicised. I think it's almost fair to say that Irish was seen as something that Republicans did. Is it difficult for you to convince people in your own community that Irish is something that for them?
Well, I think there's two, very polarised viewpoints. You get people who have this innate interest, and we hear the same thing over and over again. I've always wanted to learn Irish, I've always been interested in learning Irish, and for them all we've done is open the door and provide classes. For us, it's just so natural. It's just people getting together. Nobody cares. Nobody knows what religion you are. And then you have a kind of knee-jerk reaction from people who the only Irish they've ever heard is Chucky or La. So they have a very negative response, which is understandable. But I do a presentation called The Hidden History of Protestants in the Irish Language, which shows many of the links between the Unionist community and the Irish language. It's a language which is used by the Red Hand Commando, and we see it in many of the murals here in East Belfast. So what we've tried to do is include all culture, all language.
While back in North Belfast, a former Presbyterian church has become the home for another kind of cross-community project, the 174 Trust. This is Jeffrey Kerr.
We're looking in through the original doors into what would have been the main church complex, which is now an open exhibition area. Can seat probably 120 people in this area for events. Then looking behind that, we're into a cafe. And then upstairs we have a wonderful feature of a 180-seater auditorium space. 174 Trust had been established in 1983 as a non-denominational Christian charity to try and provide for the needs of the local community, particularly at the height of the Troubles. We do a lot of projects that impact on reconciliation because we can work with the nationalist population right on our doorstep, but yet just 500 metres down the road we are into the Lower Shankill, and we run a lot of programmes that bring people together to work on issues of common need and of common celebration in regards culture, arts, rather than the issues which have kept the communities apart for all these years.
These are also central concerns for the Youth Forum and its director, Chris Quinn.
We are essentially a youth-led body, which means that we are governed by a group of young people who are elected by their peers. And what we do is try and promote the voice of young people on issues that they feel are important. We're working in communities, we work on a regional basis, and we engage with around about 40,000 young people every year. Drugs is a huge thing for young people now, mental health, and the rise in suicide and self-harm is massive here at the moment as well. But overwhelmingly we have other issues as well, things like facilities and transport. And these issues may sound rather trivial, but I mean, if we talk about mobility across communities, our transport infrastructure doesn't support that, and facilities for young people is massive. For many young people, having somewhere to go and someone to talk to is a huge priority.
Is it difficult for young people, where people who are involved in the conflict are still quite prominent as elder statesmen of the community? Is there a sense for young people that maybe they might start to get involved in things as a way of feeling like they can earn respect?
Yeah, we hear this all the time, that for some young people engaging in violence on the streets is partly recreational. We also hear others, I mean, we're engaging with a group of young people, the United Youth Project, and what we've done is brought young people together from the Lower Shankill and the Divis areas to talk about some of these issues that we're talking about now. I do believe that young people are very, very open to accepting and understanding and listening to others, you know. And I've been party to some brilliant conversations between people from the different ends of our political spectrum, I guess. Young people want to hear each other's story. They do see the importance and I suppose the sensitivities around commemorations. It doesn't make them any less loyalist or less Republican or nationalist or unionist, but the vast majority of young people want to make things work here.